how can we be cautious of other people's envy?
Well, when you're young, what matters is not getting attention, is not trying to get everybody to look at you and to show how wonderful you are. So you got to get out over that, because it's very difficult, because we now live in a time of social media where we think the only thing that matters is attention. How many people are following us on Instagram? How many people are following us on Twitter, etc.? That is not important. That is completely irrelevant. Drop that interest of yours completely out of the wall, because it's going to hurt you in the end. What matters in your 20s is developing skill, right? Is learning things and then combining all of the skills you have learned with your own unique ideas, and then wowing the world when you're 30 years old with whatever your business idea is. So you have to learn to control down your need, your desire for getting attention. So if you start a job and you're 23 years old and you're learning the ropes at some office or whatever, your task is not to get everybody's attention, because then you'll stir up a lot of envy, and people will think, what is this kid who's just out of college? Why has he got such an ego, etc.? You'll look bad. You mute your colors. You need to learn to fit into the culture. You need to learn to observe who the power structures, why this person is succeeding, why that person is failing. And you need to learn skills and develop things that are going to make you incredibly necessary and important in that job. So your job, let's say you're 23 and you take a job that isn't really what you love in life. Your task isn't to stay there 2 or 3 years. You're using that as a means for developing some kind of skill. Even working at McDonald's flipping burgers, you're going to be learning something. Everything is an opportunity to learn. What are you learning there if you're working in a restaurant like I did? Was about people, how to please people, what they hate, what they don't like, who are the bad types out there, where the people come in with an attitude. How do you learn people's psychology, right? Every job has an opportunity for learning. So your job, you are hungry for knowledge, you are hungry for skills, you're not hungry for attention. And if you do play the game right, when you're 30 or 28 or 32, you'll make something and you'll get more attention than you'll even want. Things will work out for you brilliant. But you need to be able to control that desire early on, because it'll get you in a lot of trouble.
So focus on fitting in, learning the ropes, gaining the skills. And I want to also talk about empathy, focusing on other people, or whenever you're like having a conversation, focusing on someone else and studying them silently. Why do you suggest people should do something like that?
Well, if you don't develop that, you're going to have a life full of misery and drama and pain. It's very simple. I'm not teaching you to be empathetic or understand people just out of some Gandhi-esque desire for love and brotherhood in the world. I'm telling you have to do it, or you're going to fail in life, right? So part of your task is you have to be a team player. I don't care wherever you start, you're going to be fitting into a group, right? Even me as a writer, I have to work publishers, with agents, etc. You have to know how to work with a team, okay? And to work with a team, you have to be able to understand other people's psychology. And this is very difficult in the world today. So if you're young, it's almost like you're starting with a hindrance in your path that didn't exist when I was young. And that hindrance is social media, because you're spending so much time on your phones and your devices that you're not interacting with people enough. You're not learning the social skills, the ability to look somebody in the eye and figure out, what are they thinking? What is their body language? What are the emotions I can read on their face? Because you're continually distracted and you're continually thinking about yourself. And as you go on and on and on, like, you develop this blind spot where you can be great at code, you can be great at writing, but you can't see people and you can't understand what they're thinking. And you say stupid things and they offend you. You do things that make people hate you. And then you create all of your own, barriers in life. You're creating them because you don't understand how to deal and work with people. So the thing is, you have to learn that one of the skills you're developing, if we're talking about learning skills, is not just learning how to do code or learning how to write or learning about business. It's also learning about people, about politics, about egos, about people's psychology, about how to persuade people of what's in their self-interest, what's their spirit, right? So let's say You're starting a business. That's your goal in life. But you need funding. You don't have the money for it. And you've chosen like 5 or 6 people that you're going to try and hit up to give you seed money for your startup, right? And you think, well, this is a great idea. I know that people are going to love it. I'm just going to tell them why it's such a great idea. And then you try and each time you get failure, nobody listens to you. You don't get any money. It's because you're looking at it through your eyes of what you want, what's great for you. But other people have different viewpoints from you, different perspectives. They have their own self-interest, and maybe you're not aligning with their self-interest. So if you understood before that it's not about me, it's about them, and you study Mr. A or Miss B, and you go, okay, this is where they are right now. This is how they think, what their world is. Maybe I need to tailor my approach to their spirit, to what they want, to what they need, right? You're going to be so much more effective in life. So I explain in my book, The Laws of Human Nature, how to develop this skill. We can spend 20 hours discussing, but what you need to be able to do is understand that this is a critical life skill and that anybody can develop it by learning to pay deep attention to the people around you and to try and feel what they're feeling. I can't know Antonio's thoughts. I can never read your mind. You're not me. But I can read your eyes, I can read your excitement, I can read your smiles. They don't lie. They tell me something very important. I can also read your actions. If you're late for meetings, if you don't return my messages, if you've got a bit of an attitude, these are all signs. You need to pay deep attention to the signs that people give out that reveal what's going on behind their mask. That's as much a skill you need to develop as any of the skills that are important in life. And I do a lot of consulting. I deal with people, for instance, athletes, people who are professional players and coaches, etc. And they have a problem where they don't understand how to work as a team. They don't understand the different psychologies of people because they're always used to thinking about themselves and their own skills. And they have tremendous problems in life. So no matter what your field is, the inability to understand the different psychologies of the people around you, it's going to be a constant impediment to any kind of progress that you want to make.